Peace, everyone, and welcome to the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. Tonight, I have the Calico with me, and where VJ is from, it is today. VJ is with us also, and we'll be discussing the real Dravidians today. And this topic was brought up by our brother, the Calico, so we will be covering this. Right now, I'm going to start by having each one of them introduce themselves to you and also tell you all where you can find them. We'll start with DJ first.
Yeah, I'm Adikotla Vijay Santosh Kumar on Instagram at Christ Being and on LinkedIn Santosh Adikotla. YouTube, you type in Red Dragon, my video comes up. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. On Twitter, Nagawa13, and on Facebook, Adikotla Vijay Santosh Kumar. My website is www.nagaintelligence.com, nagaintelligence.com. I own a artificial intelligence company, and I'm an expert in 50 different computer languages, and I also studied all the religions that are there across the world: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikh, uh, Christianity, Islam, all the religions, and also specialize in the ancient civilizations. I also studied Egyptian religion, Egyptian civilization, Sumerian, Atlantean civilization. So this is my brief introduction.
Yeah, it's your brother D Calico. You know, a Crumb TV affiliate. You know, the neighborhood etymologist. You feel me? You can always catch me over at the Alhambra Society. You know, with my Supreme Shock etymology series. You know, I don't really want to hold y'all up and let y'all get to the good stuff.
Gratitude to you both. And I am, again, your hostess, Joy Allen. Not sure if I introduced myself here as representing the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MKBTNT. You can also contact me on Facebook at Joy Allen. And I'm going to ask D Calico to give us a summary of this topic today and how he came to wanting this to be the topic for the day.
I mean, you know, I kind of want to get to the bottom of you know who's sharing the same culture. You feel me? Who's sharing the same ideals? Because I've heard so many connections about the Ethiopians and the Hindu. You know what I mean? I've heard so many connections about the ancient Americans and the Hindu. You know what I mean? I mean, and come to find out studying for this presentation. I found out a giant connection between the ancient Celts, what we call the Celtics, or the ancient Druids, and the Hindu. You know what I mean? So all these ancient cultures, like tying in so many different ways. I just felt like it'd be worthwhile for us to, take it anciently. Because Dravidians ain't no new culture. This is something very ancient. So I feel like we could tap in. I yield the floor.
And let's see here. So, are we going to start with what you want to present, D Calico, or we want to start with DJ's PowerPoint?
I mean,
You got your stuff? You ready to share, Calico? You need a moment.
I need a moment as far as pulling up anything. I didn't bring a true PowerPoint presentation, but I know my questions would spark things. Like we could just start off, simply with his name. You feel me? Because his name has to do with a lot of different things. You know, like we nicknamed our brother VJ. You know, and I know, you know, there's a cult or I don't know if it's a god. Who is VJ Naga or VJ Naga? Is that how you say it? Is that a place or a language? You know, I mean, I see it's in your name. I just wanted to, you know, understand because I know Naga would essentially be like a king
Right.
or god.
I mean, it's like Vijay means victory in India, and there is a kingdom called Vijayanagara Samraja. It is named after the kingdom. Vijay means victory, and Santosh means like DH is it got God inside my name, and sun means it represents the sun in the sky, and Kumar means Morians. We are Morians, so that is my complete name, and my name got 26 alphabets in it. So this is how the things play out. My father didn't know all these things, but he named me like that. And Kumar means Mar means more. So that is always there. And Vijay means victory in Telugu and Sanskrit. And many kingdoms are named after Vijay. That's what it is.
Interesting. Before we continue, I want to say peace, Islam, gratitude to my sharer, Abdiel bin Levi Il, for being the first one here. He also says peace to everyone on the panel. And Calico, you ready? I see your screen. You ready?
Yeah, I was pretty much sharing this alongside his conversation, but are we on screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just tapping into what I was saying about his name. You know, VJ, VJ Anaga. You know, VJ Anaga Empire. You know, all of these, like you said, it was many empires and kingdoms under this name in ancient India. That's why I just wanted to tap into that because that is the brother's name, and he's, you know, he stated many times how they are Lemurians.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I was just trying to understand because we know Lemuria wouldn't quite be the ancient name. So I remember him saying that Kumar is like the more ancient name. Or what is the full name? I know you said the ancient name for Lemuria is Kumari or Kumar or something.
Kumri Kandam.
Kumari Kingdom.
Kumri Kandam.
Oh, Kandam. Mm-hmm. You know me, I ain't gonna lie. I be loving this ancient artwork. You feel me? And you know, these ancient Dravidians who did all of this ancient, awesome architecture. You feel me? They are, you know, Aboriginal people.
Yeah, speaking of the people, and then I'm gonna reference the title as well. When we were planning for this, you had images of people.
Yeah,
Compare.
Southern Indian and the Northern Indian.
Yeah, can we look at those? Because I'm familiar with them myself. It was surprising to some of the people we were discussing it with, and I did not do my homework. I was supposed to bring up the image myself of a side-by-side comparison, and there were some similarities to my mother and myself and one of my daughters, and it looks something like this. And Calico is sharing the screen.
Yeah. See, as we know, my brother VJ is a South Indian. You know, and if we really paying attention, we can see drastic differences between a North Indian and a South Indian. You know, one is an Aboriginal, and honor them, and obviously the other ones, like VJ, like how do y'all determine it? Because you know, outsiders trying to determine things for y'all. Like, how do y'all determine? Like, are the Aryans originally Hindu, or are they invaders?
I mean, it's like when you look into this North India and South India, and these were like the people who came from Germany and other parts of the Europe into India. They were like pinky. I don't say white, or they are light skinned people, and they mingle with the people in India, and they were mostly situated in the northern regions of India, because northern region in India is very cold. So that is the area they like. So they settled there, and they mingle with everybody. So that is how it is. And when you look into the word Aryan is for our race. It is, we are not called Dravidians. We are called Aryans in the beginning. We are not Druid word. So you want me to talk on the complexion, right? First.
Yeah, you can talk on the complexion, PJ.
Yeah. So southern India is not been conquered by these conquerors. So that is why it remained as it is. Mostly the northern India has been conquered by the by the invaders, and they came along and they intermingled with Indians, and 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 they are much like Caucasian people. That's what it is. So when you look into the look into the complexion and everything, they are Caucasian people. You find less and less dark skinned people in northern India. You find all of the dark skinned people towards southern India, and you find dark skinned people or the Moors in North India, but there are less and less of that kind of complexion, and the weather is cold, so mostly the people had turned somewhat light skin. So that is what it is. And Calico had said Aryans. So Aryan means it is the dark skinned people that lived in in India. They were called Aryans. They took our title. This is very unfortunate. They took our title as Aryans and they named us as Dravidians. Druids are from Europe. Druids are from Britain, UK, United Kingdom, and Druids. The Druids are the philosophers, and a British invader, British officer named us as Dravidians, because he don't know what to say to us, because they took our title, and all these Caucasian people, they are calling themselves as Aryans, these invaders, and they took our title, and they called us as nothing. They called us Dalits or untouchables. They called us untouchables. So this British Army chief, he got some history, and he said, because he's from Britain, so he saw the Druids there. Druids were philosophers and healers and etc. And they were thinkers. And he called our race as Dravidians. He named us as Dravidians because he didn't know what to say, because he has to say us as Aryans, but that will spark a lot of anger against him. So that is why he named us as Dravidians in 18th century, and that is why the word Dravidian came along. So we are the dark-skinned Aryans. We are the Aryans. We are the true Aryans that we are. And when we look into the ancient texts of Ramayana, Vedic texts, everywhere they're depicted as the evil people or rakshasas, but we are the heroes in those ancient texts. And they want to erase everything, and they said you are untouchable because there is a war that broke out in between the Caucasian people and the people who settled, who are there, the original people in India, the dark skinned people, and that war went for a long time, and the people who submitted themselves to the conquerors, they were given lands, and we did not obey to the Caucasian people, and that is why they labeled us as untouchables, and we were not allowed to live in the cities. Our people were allowed to live outside the cities and everything, and they took all our titles and all our names, and they gave it to the Indian people who obeyed to their laws and everything. So even now the same thing happens when you look into the Indian Constitution. They call us to write the Indian Constitution. Our Dalits were writing the Indian Constitution. So when you look into Dhruva means pole star, and when you look into the Indian Constitution, everything had been written by the Dalits. So even when you look into the name Dalit means enlightened. So they name it in such way. And these are the origins of racism. So the first racism started in India. It did not start anywhere. These people who came from the Caucasians, who came from outside the world, outside India, they came in, and then they started to have a war with us, and we did not agree with them. And at that time, what happened is they labeled us as Dalits, as the untouchables. And when you go into the PowerPoint presentation, I want to show. If you go into the PowerPoint presentation, I want to show you the structure, how they come about my PowerPoint presentation. Here, third slide. If you can go with me, the third slide. So they divided the entire society into the caste system. This is the worst form of racism. This is the origin. This is 10,000 years ago, and on the top there is Brahmin, who is the settler who is the invader, and Kshatriya. They took some people who like to fight for them. The same Indian people, they took from our people the persons who want to fight for them, and they named him Kshatriya. And Vaishya, you find them Shetty, Chowdhury, you find all these names, and these were traders. They were trading in, they were doing trade. So they want money, and they were for money, and they betrayed us. And all these people whom you find in all over the world, these Indians, these were traitors. They betrayed India, and they were living on the money of the Brahmins who were foreign settlers. So the Kshatriyas took the names as Chowdhury, Rajput, Chowdhury, Rajput, Reddy, etc. and etc. And they were holding all the land, even as we speak now today. And we were categorized as Shudras. We weren't given jobs or anything, or we weren't allowed to read any books. We weren't allowed to study or enter temples or do anything. So this is what it is. So when you come into the second slide, so Dhruva means pole star, and Druvid means dark skin. So when you look into the second slide, Dravidians are Aryans mentioned in the Sanskrit text, and Ram, Sita, everybody are ancient Dravidians, and they also call us Asuras. Asuras are Adityas, which is nothing but the sons of the sun. That means like they are called Ra in ancient Egypt. These are Asuras. These are going much ancient to the. That means these are older than ancient Egyptian. So these are we call Ra means Ravi. So Asuras are Ravis, and this is the other name for the children of the sun. So we are called Asuras, Ravi, children of the sun in ancient texts, and then we are called Aryans. So this is our history, and we are in different religions. So as we speak, I would like to show you some other slides. If you go on with me, I will show you the slides, or you can interrupt me and ask me questions or whatever if you want me to. So these are the varnas, and when you go much, these are Kshatriya is nothing but these are missionaries, the hired missionaries, and Vaishya is the businessman who is destroying our community, and Shudra, you look at him, he's the one who is working as a slave under all of them. So this is how they divided. This is how it started. Even these are the blueprints of racism, and this is how they go about their business everywhere they go. Everywhere they go, this is the plan they activate on the societies. They make the top people as Shudras or slaves, and they take some of their warriors and everything, and they make them as Kshatriyas, and every businessman is greedy, so they take some of them and they make them as Shettis or business people. So when you go into the slide number 5 or 4, I will show you, Mauryans, I will show you slide number 5. So here is the king Chandragupta Maurya. So we are called Mauryans and Mauryans, and even the businessmen today in India, they take the title of Gupta, and they keep their names as Gupta. But this person is from our tribe, and this is the originator of everything, and he is responsible for the Mauryan Empire, and when you come into slide number 6, I will show you another slide. Yeah, this one. This is Ashoka, his grandson, and this is the emperor who spread the Buddhism all over the world. So Buddhism is the most ancient religions, and before Christianity there was Buddhism, and before Buddhism there was the Hinduism is nowhere to be found. Hinduism is the manufacturing of this Caucasian Indians who came to India from Germany, from Great Britain, etc. And this king, that means like Buddha, they were associated with Buddha. Buddha is much older. He's 7,000, 8,000 years ago. This thing happened, and this king had sent missionaries to all over the world to spread Buddhism. Our Indian missionaries were going to Japan. They were going to China. They're going to all over the world. To Europe, but in Europe Buddhism was not being embraced, but all over Asia Buddhism was embraced, and they were constructing big temples. He was supporting to construct big Buddhist monasteries and everything. And this, so we are the people who supported the religion. And when you look into the teachings of the Christ and Buddha, they are much similar, and we are that kind of people. And these are Moors. These are, when you look into it, these are Mauryaans. So in India, the Moors are called Mauryans, and these are the kings who supported Buddhism. So this is the backbone of the Buddhism in India, and they erased this caste system. So they said we don't want to have a caste system, but they still again they came back, and they took out the Buddhist monasteries from India and Buddhist temples from India, and they reintroduced Hinduism. Hind means behind, just like behind. They were left behind, and many it is the Hindu culture is taken from Aryans. Our stories, they took our stories, and then they took our stories, and they did it, and they made those stories. So they took our stories, and they acted as they are the heroes in those stories, and they took it against us, just like what they did with the Christianity in Europe and in America. So they took the Christianity, and they took ancient they took the Christ being, who is a melanated being, and they took his title, and they showed, they whitewashed everything, and they said we are the heroes in the story, and we are the characters in the story. That's what they did. So this is the history before what they did to they did this to us before what they did it in Europe, what they did it in America. So it is a complete destruction of the dark-skinned people or the melanated being from India to Europe. They came to Europe in 14th centuries, and then they came to America. So this is how they orchestrated the racist attack upon the dark-skinned people all over the world. So our kingdoms were destroyed in an artistic fashion that way. And when we see that when we look into the history, these kings had also constructed the university. The first university is the Nalanda University in the world. So there is no other university, and we were spreading the knowledge to the whole world. And they said even the Christ, Yeshua, came to study in that university because he was being funded by one of the richest persons living in Israel, and he came to, that means they have the certain writings, or certain writings. That means everybody who were admitted in Nalanda University, their names were in the register, and their registers, they have the Christ being studied, came to Nalanda. So that means these are certain things. But the Buddhist people were, that is what the reason why you find a lot of Buddhist teachings come up in the Bible. So anywhere, so we are the same people, and this is how it's had gone about. And when we look into today, fast forward, and we had written the Constitution of India. The same thing, the Moors had written the Constitution of America, and the same thing everywhere. The Constitution would be written by us because we are from the Moor sides, and the Constitution in India is written by a Dalit, and even the president is a Dalit in India. So that is there, but still they don't allow us to sit in the government ruling positions or anywhere. And they don't offer us anything, any jobs or anything, and they don't even offer visas to go outside the country. They offer the visas to all the sellouts. So that is this is very, very sad situation that's been happening, and many of our our cast members were barred to enter the schools, colleges, whatever, and education was not given to them. And now we will always be in Buddhism or in Christianity, because we are from the Most High. So that is how it is. So this is how they 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 eradicate, or they control the what do you say, the melanated people all around the world, from ruling the from creating the kingdoms, or from ruling the earth once again. So so when you look into the Bible, we are also in the Bible. So we they say we are from the Keturah dynasty, or we are the descendants of Abraham. Everything is there, and all the documents are there. So it is up to us to again say that these Caucasian people doesn't own anything. They don't they doesn't that means they doesn't own the land, and they had given all the land to all the people who are just soldiers, and they're happily enjoying the land in India, and they're happily governing all the people in India. So this is what it's been happening in India, and throughout the world. It is the same. The Caucasian doesn't own anything, because he doesn't have the legal rights, because Bible is sealed with the legal rights, and all the global world trust is sealed under Bible, and the Roman Catholic Church is holding the keys to everything. And even the Roman Catholic Church came, and they said they gave some land, and some they did not give any land, but they said they will educate the children of the Dalits, and they educate the children of the Dalits to only up to a certain point. They did not allow them to read more things, and they use them as clerks and whatnot. So this is how they go about. So they are the worst enemies of the melanated people, or the Moors. And once we realize that it's their time is up, then we'll get back to the power. So this is what I want to share.
Thank you, BJ, for sharing. And you shared a lot of information, and some of which I had questions for. It's not topic related, and it might end up being a topic for a future show. So I will save my feedback right now. Um, so let's see here. Did you want to share? Okay, Calico, you ready to share your screen?
Yeah, I had to do this for my sister Joy, because we want, they always said the original Aryans are us, the Moors. And as we can see,
Right.
Aryan means noble. You know what I mean? So once again, we know that noble is where we get nobility. So we talking about the royals, the royalty of the world. The royal bloodline, would be us if we are the nobles, and we are, anciently, definitely, and we back to reclaim. But like I said, the word Aryan comes from the ancient languages of Iran and India. It was a term that ancient Indo-Iranian speaking people likely used to identify themselves in the period around 2000 BCE. So that's 4,000 years ago. This ancient group's language was one branch of the Indo-European language family. You see how, we birthed their languages. We the inventors of reading and writing and all these different languages. But literally the word Aryan may mean noble one. So I'm sure my sister Joy is a noble. I'm an Aryan, all of the such. You know what I mean? I know I am. when it boils down to that. And I think I had another screen. Like I wanted to tap in on that Karmic kingdom. I got a screen for you. Yeah. Got me. You know, this is you know, a part of my brother's name that I keep referencing because this is the ancient Lemuria that we speak of. You know, and let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, but you know, going off the modern words, we say Lemuria. You know what I mean? But as a brother states, coming from the people who have the science on this history, you know, the people who have this in their ancient texts is Kumari Kingdom. And, you know, it refers to a, you know, they say mythical. You know, number one, mythology means my theology, but and theos, when people say like theory or theology, theos means God. You feel me? So when we break these words down, it's like if you're saying my theology, because theology is the study of God, the science of God. You know, so mythology would be, you know, my God's science in a sense. You feel me? But you know, it just get deep. You know, they'll call anything a myth beyond 6,000 years or beyond 10,000 years because they didn't exist. You know, so everything that they can't explain is a myth. But it refers to a mythological lost continent with an ancient Tamil civilization located south of present-day India in the Indian Ocean. Alternative name and spellings include Kumar Kandam and Kumar Nadu. In the 19th century, a section of the European and American scholars speculated the existence of a submerged continent called Lemuria to explain geological and other similarities. Africa, Australia, India, and Madagascar. Huh? Boom. It explains geological and other similarities between Africa, Australia, India, and Madagascar. Like that's saying something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say it one more time for the people in the back.
Say it one more time.
You know what I mean? But the submerged continent called Lemuria explains the geological and other similarities between Africa, which some say is the motherland, Australia, which some say is the motherland. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's gonna say they're just older than these, you know, than those Australians. I'm talking about those real ones that came up out of Lemuria over there with nappy hair. And these ancient Indians and Madagascar, we dealing with some heavy places because in a lot of cultures they look at Lemuria as the birthplace of civilization. So, you know, we always talk about life, you know, spreading from Africa and this and that. Life spread from Lemuria, you know, which would have been right here, next to Africa. And, you know, right there connected to India. And right over here connected to Australia. And all these, you know, other Oceania islands and Pacific islands also became enriched with our people when this giant continent, you know, when it sunk, when the land shifted and this land sunk, our people. See, I think that's where they're getting the myths of mermaids. You know what I mean? Because our people were coming ashore every way they can. You know, swimming in every other kind of way. The people that were living here, living lavishly, You know, the first true kingdom, which they probably had built too much megalithic structures on it, because a lot of parts of the world sink from building too much in one area. So we could have just went all out. You never know. But we know it's sunk, and we know these ancient people are the Aboriginal people, like, well, I wanted to the Andaman people, the Andaman people. I'm gonna show you, because the Andaman people are who we saying the ancient Dravidians are. I mean, I'm gonna ask my brother at the same time. I'm gonna show you who I'm talking about. Or the Jarwa. They're calling the Jarwa people. Make sure I'm sharing my whole screen.
And I noticed while preparing for the topic, I got an echo from you. Hold on. I noticed while preparing for this topic, anytime I saw the image of Lemuria, there was also reference to Atlantis.
Because these are, these are the real motherlands, the Lemurias, and the Moos, Mu and Lemuria, or should I say Atlantis and Lemuria,
right?
Or these are like ancient birthplaces. You feel me? So all of the history that we want to give the Americas is because of Atlantis. Just like giving all these other regions, the grandeur of ancient history is because these people are connected to Lemuria. Like, I'm sure we can see my screen right, because we're looking at the Andaman people, or the Jarwa tribe. The most isolated people on earth. They say these are the original, Hindu or Dravidian who mixed in with these German invaders, as we were just taught by my brother VJ, that those German invaders are definitely not Aryans, but they did steal our titles. They like to call themselves Aryans. Yeah, I'm sure everybody should be familiar with this picture. But yeah, when Lemuria sunk, islands like this got populated. Islands like like Australia got overpopulated, a lot more than they were. Because all of us that could survive, we made it to one of these nearby lands. And these people still untouched. So Brother VJ, would you say these are also Dravidians?
Yeah, they are Dravidians. They are Dravidians. They are Aryans. That means, like, the word Dravid is a newly coined term. They are Aryans. So we call ourselves as Aryans. So that is what it is. So these are the people who are part of India. So they are showing in the tribal attire, but there are still some people living near my place, just like that, in that complexion and everything. They are Indians, and they are Aryans as well.
Mm-hmm. And like I was wondering if I could find out through you, like, the connection, like we call the top half of North America, we call it Canada. But you all had that word a lot longer. That y'all have a language called Canada, right?
Right. Kannada.
Mm-hmm.
So that is also referring to Kumrikanda. So Canada is nothing but one of the states language, official language in India. So it is named after that language, Canada. So these people were there in Canada, and they named it Canada. Then the Caucasian people went there. That's what the people say here, because it is named after in Karnataka, in the state of Karnataka, they talk Kannada language, and Canada is named after Kannada.
Yeah. So I'm sure, like, there's a lot of connection between. Put it like this: did the Lemurians and the Atlanteans did they ever connect as a people? Like I don't know if y'all have any history. Like do the Hindu have history of Atlantis?
It's like the Atlantis civilization is very small civilization. That's what they say. It is a city that's called Atlantis, and it is being governed by a person who had architected the whole city, and they have connections to Atlantis, Lemuria, and Indian civilization throughout the Vedas. They have a connection.
So what is Mu? Like Mu is Mu Atlantis?
Land of Mu. It's I that means like Mu is Atlantis. That's what it is. So I think it's Atlantis, but I don't have the proper knowledge, because I don't have to speak, because if I have the proper knowledge, I will speak on it. Land of Mu, Uz is what Moses is, and Mu and more means it refers to the planet Earth. That's what I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So it looks like. Hold on. Okay, I'm looking at this map right here. Oh, you're my cousin, DJ. Yeah, this is more like it. Let me see. So Mu would have been way out in the middle of the Pacific. You know, on the other side of California, in between California and Asia. So that would have been Mu. And Atlantis. So they're all three different. You know, Mu was his own continent on the other side of Australia and Asia. And Lemuria was like we already stated, it was more under where India is now, and on the side of Africa and on the side of Australia. And Atlantis is right here on the east coast of North America. So yeah. So Mu and Lemuria have been known as ancient continents, and I'm kind of siding with what you're saying about Atlantis. You know, Atlantis isn't quite looking like it was a continent. You know, and it, you know, however much of a continent it was, it more so tore off of the East Coast, because I can even show studies where they say Tampa, Florida is actually the city of Atlantis. But irregardless, whatever lands was here in the Bermuda, because there's even pyramids been found, you know, in the Atlantic Ocean. And the same thing goes for Mu. There's been, you know, ancient structures found under the water to prove that there was land there.
Right quick, I have a question from Ramutef Queb. He's on Facebook. He says, "What's your take on the Mon and Sambo?" Mon and Sambo.
Hold on, let me get out of this so I can get his comment.
Okay.
Hold on. I know, you say something about Sambo, you say? Is this on
Yeah.
Facebook? Oh.
Yeah.
What's your take on the Mon and Sambo? I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead,
So so Sambo means everything in Asia is called Sambo Judacia. So Sambo is the highest Most High, one of the names of the Most High. Sambo Shankara. We name everything before the name, before the God's name. We call it Sambo, and Asia is called Sambo Judacia. We have names of Sambo everywhere. He's the one of the Most High gods, and he's the one of the Most High gods in serpent cult. So that means like Buddha had told about Sambo. This is the supreme being, Sambo. So we don't know much things about them, but still there are cities named after him, Sambo, and the light skinned people joke about Sambo coons or whatever. They use it in their vocabulary, but Sambo is the name of the Most High God. He's the Most High God, one of the Most High gods in India, in Buddhism as well. In Zen culture, they name Sambo as one of the Most High gods. Even Shiva is referred to as Sambo Shankara, one who came from the Most High God Sambo. That's what it is.
gratitude for sharing that. To address the comment from Ramutef Kleb, I appreciate that. D Calico, you want to share feedback from that, or share your screen, or how are you going to proceed? After I unmute your mic, there you go.
Yeah, my apologies. I said, yeah, you can share my screen because, you know, I was just gonna touch on the simple fact of how we know Sambo, and you know, we know Sambo in America. And, you know, it's just American folklore. This ain't no real ancient history lesson or nothing. But Uncle Tom and Sambo, like we taught that Uncle Tom, like they say here at the bottom, say Uncle Tom is not a negative term towards black men. But if we look at the top, what does it tell you about Sambo? And I'm not talking about the God, of course, Sambo, but I'm talking about the story that we know of Uncle Tom and Sambo. Sambo is anyone who snitches, informs, or sells out his race. Because Uncle Tom, if you ever read Uncle Tom's Cabin, you know, call Uncle Tom's Cabin because he was living better than other, you know, indentured servants. He had his own home, you know, albeit a little cabin behind the master's house. He didn't have to do what he did, and he actually saved and, you know, freed slaves, like over 30 or whatever, before he got caught by Sambo. You know, Sambo went ahead and told on him. You know, but we look at Uncle Tom as a bad, you know, connotation, when it's really, you know, in American folklore, you know, Sambo is what y'all think of Uncle Tom is. You know, so we be calling dudes an Uncle Tom. I mean, a Sambo is a lot worse. Yeah, I was just messing. I just wanted to show y'all that. But I definitely learned something with that Mon and Sambo.
I did too. Let's see here. So DJ, you had a few slides you did not yet cover. You want to cover those now or later?
Yeah, I will cover those now.
Okay.
So, coming into the history of India, then Barbar was a Moorish empire. I mean, it's like Genghis Khan was came to India. They settled in India. These are all the Moorish emperors who came to India, and most of the Moors or the Dalits, they converted themselves into Islam, and they became Muslim, and then they started fighting fighting the Caucasians and the Brahmins and everybody in India, and that is the reason why they hate the Islam religion here, and and somehow being an untouchable is a torment. So they went and they converted themselves into Christians or Muslims. And Barber entered India with 15,000 army, and all the Dalits or all the Aryans, they joined his army because they wanted to fight the Caucasian, and they fought. They joined the army and they fought and they won, and somehow they captured the Caucasian Empire here in India. The Muslim Empire was settled here. The Mughal Empire was set up here. The Mughals means Mongolian Empire, Genghis Khan and everybody. Khan means ruler, so they were here, and we are the same people. The Muslim Moors, the Aryan, the Muslims call themselves Aryan as well. So we are the same people. So and then they changed into some of the Muslim Moors, or some of the Moors, they converted themselves into Christianity because that was much more appealing to them. So this is how the history of India goes. And now the 15% of Indian population is Muslim, and most of them are the converts into Islam. They are the Aryans, or the real Dravidian people in Muslim religion, and they have been suffering here still because Muslim is being considered as minority in India, and 15% of Muslims are suffering in India as we speak because of the nationalistic government, or the Hindu forced government in India. So that is always going on here. That is what is going on here. So this is the brief history I want to say. So the constitution was written by a person called B.R. Ambedkar. He's a Dalit, and he's a Buddhist. He's a Buddhist. So when you look into all these ancient religions, these religions are the religions of the Moors. So the Zen religion, the Buddhist religion was introduced by the Moors. The Christianity, Islam, all these religions were introduced by the Moors, and we always stayed in those religions because of our inclination towards those religions and towards the deities.
Okay, thank you, DJ, for sharing. And also, I appreciate you sharing your presentation with us, as you always do. It's very valuable, the PowerPoint. And it looks like the Calico searching for something to bring to us. I know that look. We're going to give him a few moments. And while we do that, I want to address everyone who is viewing this video, whether it's present time or in their present time, they're watching in what we know as the future. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, for commenting, for adding value to the build. And again, once more, I do look at the videos after they air, so I will address any comments, questions, or concerns that you have. So feel free to add those even after this broadcast is over. And here shortly, I'm going to add the Calico screen for a few moments. And D Calico, you gotta unmute your mic. There you go.
Yeah, shocking links that show ancient Indians may have started Egyptian civilization. Well, I mean, you have people write it both ways. you have people say that this little piece of evidence is showing that the Egyptian civilization started there, and it's some that'll say theirs started here. But the brother is showing that they all Moors. And I was showing you how when Lemuria disappeared, they couldn't all just go to India. They couldn't all go to just Madagascar and Australia. Many of them went to Africa. You feel me? So there's so many ancient South African structures that never get spoken of. You know, like way more ancient valleys and civilizations, seemingly. There might not have been high civilizations that we think of, but they're so old you can't even tell because you know, it's not something you can really study. It's almost dwindled away. But what is this? What I was trying to show interest in the people. Oh. Hold on.
That looks like Ishtar.
Yeah, that's what they're showing. They're showing the similarities right there.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of it's just like saying the original Buddha, had kinky hair. You know what I mean? So if you notice the oldest structures had Negroid looking sisters. They had the Moorish features. They had our phenotype.
And I don't think I mean Ishtar.
No, you didn't. But Ishtar is like saying a set. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just Sumerian culture. You said that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Yeah, I'll just go something else. Let me see. And that's all I'm getting. Because I ain't gonna lie, like every time I see the bull in the Hindu culture, all I think about is the goddess Hathor. Even with the Israelites, Moses had first made those two golden calves, showing them the God that brought them out of Egypt. Two golden calves. So usually a lot of people say that Hindu, have no gods and all this because they thinking Buddha. I think that's his name. Buddha. People like to say, oh, Buddha says this, Buddha says that, even though they worship in a more modern Buddha. Because I'm pretty sure there's been more incarnations of Buddha. I can't remember all of them right this second.
Yeah, there were. Yeah.
Yeah, I know one Buddha, the one that's more famous. I think it's Buddha Mayata. I know his mother. His mother. This Buddha, his mother's name is Maya. And that's why I'm saying, how we have the Mayans over here in America. And they call us Indians, or they like to call us Indians because there's so much similarity between ancient America,
Right,
and India. Like I remember making a post about a board game. It's an ancient board game that's only in two places in the world. America and India. I mean, because when you're dealing with Mu, Atlantis, and Lemuria, the only way you can go back any further than that is to, talk about Pangea. So when we're going back as far as it goes when you're bringing up those ancient places, you know, and a lot of people with the American ideology will only acknowledge Atlantis and say how, you know, Atlantis is the oldest. Let me see if I can show you this board. I know the board game looks like this. This is it. This is it. Like, do you recognize this board game, brother VJ?
Yeah, it's yeah, I recognize the board game. We used to play it all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
is that
This board game is thousands of years old, and it's only found in two places. You know, anciently it's found in India and also in America.
every summer we used to play that board game. That means for
I
the
think
what is
I think things like this kind of show the connection between the Lemurians and the Atlanteans. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, maybe one day we can get a demonstration how to play that.
sure.
For real.
How many players play this game? Up to how many players?
Like 4 people?
4 people play the game. 4 people play the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's one part for each Olympian player.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Joy.
it comes out from the center, one for each player.
Hey, Joy. Hey,
Yes.
Dominici when it reach me.
Huh?
And
I said Dominici when it reach me.
Okay.
Now y'all don't play dominoes?
I do.
Yeah, you know how we said, you know, Dominici when it reach me. That means I'm gonna win with his next bone right here. Bow.
I was not going to discuss that with you because we already got a challenge on the table. I'm about to engage with you in another challenge. We could talk about dark and light skin on another day.
Oh shoot. Hey, I love all you light skinned and super yellow bright people too. I love all y'all. You know, don't get it. You ain't even all that light. You know what I mean? Like you just the same color as all my grandmas and all my family members. You know, not to say my family. I got family members that got that had privilege. They had that privilege.
Yeah.
You know,
we
but
on Facebook. Yeah. Dominoes is an option. We'll look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is a very ancient game, and see that's why I love culture, because them people are actually still playing the same game. It's just like chess. You know, our ancestors invented chess, so I love to see the youth playing chess. You know, sticking with anything ancient instead of these video games so much. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that our little boys and girls, especially the little girls, you can see them playing that right now. You know, because you know how we got that one game where they play with the marbles. Them kids love that game. Them little girls. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get a history lesson. You know, VJ always making short videos. He might make it like a 5-minute video on how to play this game.
Right, I will.
We need to get a game for our homes.
Yeah, for one, I'm gonna draw it on a piece of paper until I get it. You know.
Yeah.
I can see, you know, it ain't nothing but a cross. Make a whole cross.
Like we can make also instead of buying it.
Yeah, we could just do it on paper.
Yeah, a lot of people at home right now anyway.
All this quarantine and we ain't learned nothing.
Yep, looks like a family project right there.
Yep. For real, and you see, this was made of stone. Like they've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, we could do the same thing. We could write it on the ground. You know, we could scratch it on the ground the same way they used to. You know,
yeah.
But they like this so much. They'll cut out a chunk of concrete to carry that board with them. So their board game was very heavy, but they carried it around.
Yeah, they put it next to the hopscotch game.
That's the name of it, Pachisi. Is that the American name, or is that what y'all call it in India?
Yeah, that is what we call Pachisi.
It's an American. It got an American name for it also.
We draw it on the ground with what do you say, with chalk. Chalk. We draw the board on the ground, and we will make a dice with tamarind seeds. And we used to play. And we used to play betting, and everything goes around. 4 people can play, or 2 people can play. 2 player or 4 player, or how depending upon the people we have. So this is very exciting game and very interesting game as well. You have to go in the middle. It is called home. So that is what it is. Everything goes on with the dice. And dice would be made with the tamarind seeds.
And so I looked it up. I was just looking for the name of it in America, the English name. But then I seen the instructions to the game, so that's important, huh? So if you want to know the instructions to the game, once you create it, draw it out, build it, it's in Wikipedia. So go to Wikipedia for the rules of the game.
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. So you say you found the name or not? Hold on.
It's called Parcheesi. Hold on. Am I in here? Okay, yeah. It's called Parcheesi. Parcheesi. Only the one sold by Hasbro can use that name.
Hold on. I'm gonna find it. I'm trying to. Oh, it's Parcheesi.
Yeah.
That what is the name in America? Oh, I know if I look up if I go on my Facebook, I've been put this on there a long time ago. Yeah. Nobody else does this.
I know. After our last build, a few builds I mentioned, because after the camera shuts off, we get into conversations like this and we start finding stuff, and that gets us into the build for the next topic. I also talked about like all this energy, the rediscovery, and that energy once we get on screen is kind of gone because we've already got past all of the oohs and ahs, and we built the PowerPoints and the presentations, and so it's kind of by the time we present it, it's a watered down version of the presentation itself. So this is the behind the scenes that I wanted to do. So this is
yeah, see, it's Patoli and Pachisi. I made this meme. I constructed and put this meme together right here last year.
Yeah, it's like August 8th.
Yeah. Yep. You know, and by 30 days it'll be a year. But Patoli and Pachisi. So obviously Pachisi is his ancient Indian, ancient, Dravidian name or ancient Tamil name, and Patoli is, the ancient American name. As you can see, this is Patoli right here. And what's the difference? Is there a difference between Patoli and Pachisi? None whatsoever. Like, do you see the Indians right here playing Patoli? And you see, the Brahmins and the priests playing Pachisi. You feel me? You even got the gods playing Pachisi. Way back in the days of true serpent mysticism, they've been playing Pachisi. So this in the game of chess and a few others are very ancient. You know, let me see.
Yeah, that bottom picture is I'm looking at that as Jesus on the cross game type picture.
As you can see, ain't nobody else talking about no Petroleum but cheesy. You know, I got a few friends that share my post. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somebody this year just was talking about Parcheesi. Okay, see, you know, everybody making their own way to get to draw it up on the board, and you know, by the look, I don't know, look like people connecting this with magic a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, that's something for us quarantiners to look into. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I recommend because I'll probably do a video of me playing it real soon.
Yep. So at one point of the day, you can play with your children or watch them play. Then another part of the day, you can get it, put it with your candles, and make something else happen.
Exactly. You know, for real, for real. Yeah, especially if if it has anything to do with magic. We want to get them. We want to get them acclimated. For real. And I was looking at this. Matter of fact, let me back up so I can find out what it said. Boom. He said it's believed the Dravidians from India went to Egypt and laid the foundation of their civilization there. The Egyptians themselves had the tradition that they originally came from the south. Huh? So, and right here they saying from a land called Punt. And see, this is my connection. This is how I'm trying to, really see what the connection between the Egyptians and the Dravidians or the Hindu is because, I've heard that the Hindu are Ethiopians, and it's saying that they come from, the south from a land called Punt. Punt is also called Punt is also called Ethiopia. You know, so is Punt also been called India, brother VJ?
That means like I did not hear that Punt is called India. I did not hear about that argument before. But we are always called Ethiopians because we have the Ethiopian skin tone.
Yeah.
So always they say that we are from Ethiopia because when the historians, that means like people living in India, some people are darker skin and they are from Africa. That's how they segregate us. They say when they look at me, they say your descendants are from Ethiopia. That's what few professors told me about my audience. That's what it is.
And look, even Google knows that Ethiopians and Eritreans look like South Indians. like even Google knows that. You know what I mean? So I know I'm not tripping. You feel me? And they're all Nagas. We all the Nagas people. And like see, like we always talk about uh Ham and Kush, you know. Put it like this. Like what most people don't realize, this it's like the sister Salima said last time, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, but it is what it is. But a lot of people don't really have a clue on certain things, like Kush. I don't think people understand. Kush is essentially Asia. We could say that, right? Kushites. The land of Asia was Kush, but Africa was also called Kush. You know, the Kush kingdom and all of that. You know, Kush is explains Africans, but Kush is also the name of Hindu. You know that they even call India Hindu Kush. You feel me? So all of these lands was Kush. Huh? So that's the son of who? Ham. Huh? Ham is where we getting Cam and commit and Kemet. Huh? So why do we say this is Egypt of the West? Because this is the land of Ham. The father and the son. This is the father. Ham. Kemet. You know, that's why people, you know, the Indians, they'll point out, you know, their Atlantean bloodline to say they predate Africa and such and such, such. I mean, essentially, according to the Bible, this is Cush. So this is Ham. There's nowhere around it. Because even, you know, they'll tell you Egypt is Ham. But Egypt is a little city, you know, and Egypt is really Mizraim. Mizraim is what we calling the city of Egypt. But essentially, I'm telling you, this is the land, biblically, what we call the land of Ham. So all of this is Cush, and we need to know that. And that should bring some unity. But people don't want unity. They don't want to say Africa is Cush. They don't want to say Asia is Cush. They don't want to say India is Cush. Huh? They want to be divided. You know? Just because these supercontinents are missing, we're going to act like, you know, their lives don't matter. That's what we're doing. But that's what this show is all about. You know, we resurrecting all of that. You know?
That's right. And our brother Jovan Francis Ill is researching some items for us now. I appreciate everybody adding to the build. This is what I'm talking about. Thank you. We're going to get this done. And Mother Matriarch Salima says, D. Calico, do your thing. Sometimes you got to ruffle the feathers. He says, peace to the family as well.
I'm glad she's in the building. But yeah,
yes.
see, this is the Atlantic. And this is the pyramids that we find in the Atlantic. Like, people love to do all that, you know, telling you what the oldest pyramid is. Like, we done went underwater and checked all of these out. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't done that. You know, these that I'm pointing out are in the Americas. Yeah, that's cool. These are in Americas, but there's other ones that aren't. And we haven't searched the ones in Americas. We haven't searched the ones that aren't. So we don't know about no oldest pyramids. We just know they old. You know? Seriously. So, like they say, 3 sunken pyramids off of Florida's Atlantic coast represents one of the greatest discoveries of the 20th century. The structures represent a culture that preceded those in the Near East and Mexico. I'm going to show you the same, you know, essentially the same thing in the Pacific. You know, what we're talking about, Mu. Let me get to it. Boom.
And Salima says she thought India was Hindu Kush.
It is. That's what I was saying. Hindu Kush. Okay. Africa is Kush. China, Asia is Kush. You know, all of those lands are still connected. You know, unless we're gonna act like what is that? The Suez Canal. And we're gonna act like the little man-made ditch that they dug called the Suez Canal. We're gonna act like that separated the Middle East from Africa. Then Africa is not connected to all of those continents, but they are. You know, Mother Earth made it that way. You know, the Africa's connected to the Middle East. The Middle East is connected to Asia, and Asia's connected to Russia. Russia's connected to Europe. Europe ain't nothing but Asia Minor. You know what I mean? Europe ain't nothing but 3 peninsulas. You know, like I say, these are pyramids in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Like they're saying, this is news in India. Yeah. So did Lemuria exist? Did the Dravidians build this? Yes, we did. You know, they have no answers. Nobody can tell you, what the oldest pyramids truly are, because ain't nobody went underwater and did the work. You know, and ain't nobody gonna be able to lift it up out of the water. I mean, there's a lot of places like this in the world, and it's crazy. You know, but we only gonna dibble and dab in the ones that we can, see above land. We're gonna just judge those only. Hey, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's our job just to get you to think. Like Nova Drali says, I'm just here to get you to think. Seriously. So we are the Lemurians. We are the Dravidians. We are the Atlanteans. We are the Egyptians. We are the Americans. I mean, we're all of that. Anciently speaking. So that means present day also. It's like the brother VJ say, they don't have the land grant anywhere. They don't. You have to be you have to be the original people to say this is my land. These people don't own anything. We felt sorry for them because we had them living in that water. When they got when Isabella kicked them out the land, they were just floating. And we felt sorry for them. They out there hungry. We like, all right, come over here, man. Come eat, and then get back on your boat. But nah, they took, you give them an inch, you already know. You give them a hand, they take your arm. You feel me? So, we just had to touch on what's ancient because too many people wrapped up in the modern, thinking.
And BJ, you have something you want to share as feedback to what D. Calico just shared, or from what audience members shared?
Yeah, that means like the ancient pyramids that he showed were very informative, and these were underwater, and they were in several locations all over the world underwater. So we have the underwater civilizations before the civilization shifted to the surface of the planet, and everything that means had to be researched, and we are called the Aryans, the noble ones, and all our titles have been taken away, stripped down, and we are now called Dalits or untouchables. So this is very sad situation, and they give us different names which they feel like calling us. So we have to take back our titles and our names, our land, and everything. So this is what I want to share at the moment.
Gratitude. And the Calico and VJ, we are going to wrap up right now, I think, unless either one of you have more you'd like to share. I know according to what we prepared that we are done, but we know that we will go off topic, so to speak, and bring it back. Would either one of you like to share anything else? And if not, then we'll give our closing comments and remarks. Hold on, I got you muted, Calico. No, you got yourself muted. Okay.
No, I think we
Go
did
ahead.
excellent for part one. Because nobody else in the community has ever touched on who are the Dravidians. You know what I mean? Like, if they're my ancestors, if put like this, all of us have a common ancestor. So that means they're my ancestors. So we got to lead all the way back to that original one. Back to Amma. Back to the Most High. You feel me? We're gonna bring the balance back. Real life.
Very good. So we can set up part two. We can do that. VJ, you have anything you want to share before we close?
That's enough for me. That's like we have to know who we are, and then we have to know what they are playing on our minds, and erase all our memories and whatever. So we have to know who we are before we start teaching our children and everybody around us, and that's what I feel like. And we have to be knowledgeable. That's the number one weapon against all these things that are going on against the community and our people right now. That's what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you know how like the saying goes, you know, you gotta know where you come from to know where you're going. So we can take a lesson from the Dravidians, and we need to know that we can't be over infatuated with a piece of land that we're standing on because it can disappear.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to be on another land while we over here calling this our motherland. We're gonna be on another land. So
Yeah.
we got to know that this happened before. It's gonna happen again. So don't be over infatuated with calling yourself American or African. Know that the earth is your turf. So whatever happens to float and rise to the top, that's where we're going, and that's our land. In the next and the oldest and the newest and whatever so forth. We're the heirs to the throne. So more fire.
Speaking of land and separations, um, and also future separations. I know I was in a video with our brother Tasmaniac Wolf, and he mentioned near the Great Lakes, here near where I'm at, the separation coming in that video, and I'm looking for that video now. I know it's on my page, so people go there, they'll see it. Something about the end times and hell. Are you prepared?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Yeah, and he spoke about, I think he presented like the map from the Navy, some branch of the military, and it was a future map, and they were anyway, you watch the video. I don't want to tear up his presentation. And I'm gonna look for that. Anyone else want to share something while I get that video? The name of that. There we go. Okay. VJ, if you would tell everyone who you are once more and where they can find you.
Yeah, my name is Vijay Santosh Kumar, and you can find me on Instagram and Christ Being, on LinkedIn Santosh Arikotla. On YouTube, if you type in Red Dragon, my videos will come up, and you can subscribe me from there. On Twitter, it's Nagawa13, and on Facebook, Arikotla Vijay Santosh Kumar. I have my own website. My website is www.nagaintelligence.com. I own a software artificial intelligence firm. I also do blockchain projects, and if you want to learn more things about computers, you can always contact me. I can help you land in a good job, in a decent job, like 100,000, just like 50, 60,000, $200,000 job per year. So that is very much possible in the current situation as well. So there is always a great demand for computer coders and software professionals. So if you are looking to be a software professional, you can always contact me for any advice on which technologies to learn, or what is the trending technology, or how to land on a job, or how to face interviews, whatever. And if you are looking to develop or design mobile applications or web applications, you can always contact us. So this is me, Arikota, which is Santosh Kumar.
Yeah, you know, it's the Edom man, D Calico. I'm just signing out. I want to thank, the brother VJ for, getting up bright and early on this for him, what is it? I guess it's Wednesday. Yeah, for getting up this early Wednesday.
Wednesday for all of us.
You know, it's Wednesday.
Yeah,
Well,
we start
it's about
for BJ
yes
for
after
us.
12. Yes, after 12. We started this at 11 o'clock. So we started this on a Tuesday. We finished it on a Wednesday. But I appreciate the joy, the sister Joy, and her patience. You know. So until next time. You know, I'm out. Catch me at on Facebook, YouTube, Alhambra Society. Supreme Shock Etymology.
And I did go ahead and share the link to the video that I mentioned that Tasmaniac Wolf prepared, that spoke of the separation of the land in the Midwest. The video you can find, um, it's called Will We Be Ready? Hell Survival Tools. And it's on his page, and it's also on my page. You can find it there. And I'm actually going to start a watch group right now. Anyway, yeah, I am your hostess. I am Joy Allen. You can find me on Facebook. You can also continue to find me here on my YouTube page, The Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MKDTNT. And D Calico mentioned my patience, and I appreciate everyone for their patience while they work with me as we continue to build. And I'm gonna share this short story right quick. Today we started late because I could not hear either of my guests, your host VJ or your host D Calico, and we left out. We came back in. We started over, and then I realized that earlier today I was multitasking. I was taking phone calls and working on some future builds, and a video popped up, and it was real loud on my laptop, and I didn't want it to disturb in a future call or that call, the phone call. So I turned my volume all the way down. So I couldn't hear anybody when we got here to do this show because I had to turn my volume up. So apologies for that. And from now on, if it happens, because I kept saying this not happened before. I've not run into this issue before. So if it happens again, the first thing I will do is turn up my volume so that we can start on time. So I appreciate everyone as they continue to be patient with me. And I appreciate everyone for being here today as we covered the real Dravidians, and they look like, and we now know why. And we are going to follow up with the part 2. It's possible we'll have part 3, part 4. But tune in, stay tuned, and we'll see. Peace to everyone.